Hi, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's really nice to have you guys here. So as you can see in today's video, we are continuing the series of generative AI for beginners. So today we are exploring ChatGPT. We want to know how ChatGPT learn to talk to us. We want to know the brain behind ChatGPT. We just want to learn on the very high level how it's able to learn to talk to us, and have a keep great conversation with human, right? So we can say in our course module for this class, so we've done introduction to generative AI. So if you have not seen that video, please go and watch it. It's very short and it's very simple to understand. So today we are going to be exploring ChatGPT. We want to know how it works. We want to know how like it's able to talk to us, like human, right? That is able to keep conversation, and it's just like a model, right? So then also, if you don't want to miss, the next video will be on the basics of LLM, right? So please, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe so that you don't miss anything. And you can see we still have a lot of things to cover. Okay, so let's get right into it. So how does AI learn to talk to us? So like how does ChatGPT learn to talk to us? How does generative AI learn to talk to us? How does LLM learn to talk to us, right? So quick question. Have you ever chatted with a robot that give responses like human, right? So like how does that work, right? Does it mean that we put human brain in computer brain? How does it work? Okay, so let's explore an example of ChatGPT having intelligent conversation with human. Okay, so just head to chatgpt.com, right? If you don't have an account, just create an account. It's very easy to create an account. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so let's ask, so ChatGPT, why do we have to go to school? Let's see what they have to say. So we go to school to gain knowledge, learn important life skill, and all of blah 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 blah. Okay, so some might have a follow-up question and say, why can't we just learn from the internet? Okay, so let's see what they have to say. We can learn from the internet and its fantastic resources, but school offers structure, guidance from teacher, and space to develop social skills. This is very important: teamwork and discipline. Okay, so let's ask one more thing. So what is the most important thing to learn in school? So you can see, so you can ask ChatGPT like a lot of questions, like even math question, anything, and it's able to answer and it's able to keep the conversation. That is the most interesting thing, right? It's like talking to like human, right? So it's not like Google that you just search, then you get a result, then you have to search for something else. Okay, so now what we want to do is, how does a robot learn to talk like us? Let's find out. So like, how is ChatGPT able to do all of these things? So that's what this video is about. We want to learn on the high level how all of this is possible. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is to have some definitions, of course. So what is ChatGPT? Like we've been talking about it, like it's like everywhere. So ChatGPT is like a computer program. Okay, it's of course a computer program, right, that talks to people just like you and me. So you can see is able to keep conversation and talk to people just like humans talk to us. Okay, so it is a generative AI. Okay, in the previous video we explained what a generative AI is. If you have not seen the video, please go and watch it. It's very short, right? It's a generative AI that creates new text based on what it has learned by reading tons of text from book, website, and conversation. See, the way generative AI for ChatGPT works is ChatGPT has read lot of text online, like lot of like it read how people used to have conversation, and based on that is able to learn how to have conversation with people. So again, ChatGPT like learn from data that from human data. Okay, so what is the meaning of GPT? Okay, because this is chat, right? We know chat, but now GPT. So GPT means generative. So we know what generative AI is. So again, if you have not watched the previous video, go and watch it. Generative, and this P means pre-trained. That means it was trained before on human data, right? And then transformer. I will explain what transformer is. So GPT means generative, pre-trained, transformer. Transformer is not like the transformer that gives power, in your homes. It's different. Okay, so transformer in this part means that ChatGPT can take a bunch of words and transform them into meanings, right? Because so like when I ask ChatGPT some questions, right? ChatGPT will have to first understand what is the meaning of the question. It will have to first transform those texts so that it can understand the meaning, right? So that is what transform means, right? Trying to transform your questions, your query, to something that it can understand, right? It looks at how the words are connected, right, and figure out what the whole sentence or conversation is trying to say. Okay, so it figures out that, oh yeah, why do we have to go to school? It has to like kind of figure out how all of this question works. So that's what it's called transformer, transforming your text to something that it can understand. So see, this helps it to understand and talk in a way that makes sense. Okay, so I want to assume that we know what ChatGPT is now, and when people say, oh, ChatGPT, we know what GPT means. Okay, all right, so let's go. Then how does ChatGPT learn to talk like humans? Okay, so on very high level, how does it work? Okay, like I explained before, training, like ChatGPT trained on millions of conversations, right? So I want to assume that someone might have asked this question before, that why do we have to go to school, right? Maybe in a tweet, or maybe on WhatsApp or on Facebook or anywhere, right? And then ChatGPT is trained on that data. So ChatGPT knows that when someone asks this kind of question, this is the kind of response to give, right? So that is how the training happens. So ChatGPT was trained on millions of conversations, stories, and articles. It learns by seeing pattern in how people talk. That's why it's very, very expensive to train a generative AI model, right? Like they invest in like millions of dollars of computers to be able to train it, because we have a lot of data. Okay, so the next one is pre-training. Before ChatGPT can chat with us, it gets a lot of practice by reading conversations, right? So it's still more about the training, right? So you train and you pre-train. Okay, that's how it learns. It learns from data. So the last one, understanding patterns. When you give ChatGPT a model data, it has to understand the pattern, right? To see, if they ask me this kind of question, this is what I should say. If they ask me another one based on this is what I should say based on what they've asked me before, right? So trying to understand pattern. Okay, so just like human learn how to tell a story after hearing a lot of them. So like if you hear a lot of stories, now based on that you can tell new stories. Okay, so that is also how ChatGPT learn to chat, by seeing how people usually talk, right? Reading text, reading dialogues, like reading articles and all of that. That's how ChatGPT works. So it's not magic, right? So the next thing, how does ChatGPT know what to say? Okay, so if ChatGPT like learn using all of this, but then when I ask ChatGPT question, how does it know what to say at a particular time? How does it know exactly what like this response to give me when I ask this question? So let's look at it. Okay, so when you ask ChatGPT question, right, that is called a prompt. Okay, your question is called a prompt in ChatGPT. So like this is a prompt. So when someone asks you like what is a prompt, it's just the question that you ask like an AI model or like a ChatGPT. Okay, So ChatGPT responds by guessing the next word based on what it has learned from other conversation. So the key word in here is guessing, right? It might look crazy, but we'll learn like later in this video, like why we have to be very careful, like on the response that ChatGPT gives us, right? So ChatGPT, it's still guessing, right? Even though the answer looks really good, ChatGPT is just guessing, right? Based on like what ChatGPT have read, like in like how humans talk, right? So when I ask it like the same question, it will say, "Oh, based on what I've read, I think this should be my response." Okay, so it's still guessing. So if it's still guessing, so that means there is still an element of error. Okay, so ChatGPT guess the next word, by learning from human conversation. Okay, so I've talked about this before. So let's now see, for example. Okay, it's like when you hear someone say a sentence like "once upon a time," you know in your head that, oh yeah, when somebody say, "Oh, once upon a time," you know there is a fairy tale is coming, right? That's the same way ChatGPT also learn what is next, right? So it knows that when someone asks me, why do we have to go to school? It knows that, oh yeah, I have to start with saying, oh, the school is this and this and that. Okay, so that is how it learns to know what to say. It's actually guessing what to say based on what it had read, right, from humans. So it's very key because it has like it learns from many conversations, right? And based on many conversations that it has learned, then it knows, it try to guess what is next to say. I hope that is clear. So fun things you can do with ChatGPT. Okay, you can ask ChatGPT anything because ChatGPT has learned from like humans, like learn from human data, right? So if it has learned from human data, like how we talk and everything, so that means it should be able to answer all questions, kind of, right? So you can ask it like, why is the sky blue, and it will give you a detailed answer. So you can try this out, like ask it, why is the sky blue. You can start a story and ChatGPT will continue it in a creative way. Okay, so you can start a story, like say, okay, so let's say, yeah, because of time, I won't do that. So like just like write a story. They say, oh yeah, like this is a story, like a boy is going to school and he met some bullies and all of that, blah blah blah. Please, can you complete this story? So it can also help you with math problem. If you are stuck on a math problem, ChatGPT can solve it, and it can even explain it. It's really crazy. You can even play games like imagining you are a detective trying to solve a problem. So that's example of what ChatGPT can do. So why does ChatGPT sometimes get it wrong? Okay, so this is where it is very important, right? So ChatGPT is really smart, but it's not perfect. Remember, like in here, I said that ChatGPT is actually guessing. So based on that, it's not perfect. Okay, it might make a mistake or say something that isn't true. It is possible because it's just guessing based on the pattern, right? That is why it's important, like if you are working on an essay that you want to like use, make sure that you check your answer very well. Or even if ChatGPT is working math problem from for you, make sure that you look through it and make sure that some arithmetic makes sense. Okay, so yeah, very very important. So cool challenges for you. I want you to work on some things. So I want you, of course, to create a ChatGPT account, and I want you to give it a try and challenge it with tricky questions to see if you can outsmart it. So I want you to see if you can ask ChatGPT some tricky questions and you can outsmart ChatGPT. You can give it a try. Then I want you to ask ChatGPT to help you write a funny story or a poem. You can give ChatGPT's title of the funny story or a poem or anything. Yeah, or you could just tell it, just come up with a funny story, and it will be able to do it. Then also you can test ChatGPT knowledge on your favorite hobby, on subject, that you are knowledgeable about. Maybe you can say like like your hobby might be hockey, right? You can just ask ChatGPT some questions. Say, oh, like give me some details about hockey, like how many players do we have, how do you score in a hockey game, or how do you learn how to play hockey, or something like that. So that I want you guys to challenge yourself on that. Okay, so I think so, like that's kind of high level of how ChatGPT works, and in the next video we're going to explore LLM, right? We're going to know the magic behind ChatGPT's brain, because LLM, which is large language model, is what the ChatGPT use, right, to learn from human data, and if you don't want to miss that, please like my video, subscribe, and share with other people. And based on that, I will see you guys in the next video. Please, if you have any recommendation or correction or anything, please put it in the comment below. I would like to see what you guys think. See you in the next video. Bye.